Alright, welcome back guys, or welcome if this is your first time here. I'm Vision here with Blind Entertainment, bringing you guys another video. Today I'm going to be doing a theory video regarding Fear the Walking Dead Season 5 and Madison. It could also be a Walking Dead theory video, so depending on what you're more interested in, it could be either way. But I'm going to give a spoiler alert right here, because if you haven't seen Season 4 of Fear the Walking Dead, I will be going into some spoilers regarding Madison. So if you haven't watched Season 4, definitely go watch it and get caught up before you watch this video. But if you are caught up, don't forget to hit the subscribe button down below and hit that bell icon. That way to miss any more future Fear the Walking Dead or Walking Dead content from me moving forward. Now let's begin. So, like I said, spoiler alert, if you aren't caught up, I'm going to get into it right now. But Madison died in episode 8 of season 4 of Fear the Walking Dead last season. So, she's dead. She's not coming back. From what we know, I know fans will argue, but we didn't see the body, so she could always come back. Okay, that's true. But the showrunners themselves, as well as Kim Dickens, the actress, has confirmed that she's 100% dead on the show. However, there could be a slight possibility that they could bring her back at any point. Again, we didn't see her body. This is an issue I always have with shows that don't show the body. Now, I feel like this is the reason that they didn't show her body, is due to the fact that she's a female. I feel like they wanted to show respect to her. They didn't want to show like a woman getting ripped apart. Yes, The Walking Dead has shown that before, but I feel like the showrunners didn't want to show that here, so they kind of killed her off screen. Now, like I said, there is possible ways for her to come back. If you've watched the end of season 9, you know that they now have a radio. And at the end of the episode of 16, where Ezekiel walks away from his end of the radio, you hear a woman's voice. And now I don't totally know what she's saying, but from what I understand, it's something like they're calling out on a worldwide web broadcast or whatever, looking to see if anybody's there. Now, it's a woman's voice. Now, right away, people are probably going to jump to the comics. For non-TV, for TV-only viewers, this is pretty much a nod to a future community coming up, most likely, in regards to a community known as the Commonwealth. I won't go into any more spoilers there, but that's what it's most likely going towards. There is a possibility that it could be Madison. Again, we didn't see her die. Now, the showrunners on Fear are most likely never going to bring Madison back. The showrunners on Fear were brought in to make the show better. As much as we might want to believe that the show is great at the end of season 3, they were still badly losing viewership. And I know people argue, but they brought Morgan on and the ratings dropped in the second half. Yes, the ratings dropped in the second half, but I believe personally that was due more to the way they split up the characters and did the split storytelling. I do not believe it had anything to do with Madison, and I do not believe it had anything to do with Morgan being brought over. I think it had more to do with the split storytelling. If you go back and look in the history of The Walking Dead, whenever they did these split stories, especially look at season 7, for example, they had some of the worst ratings. So I think you gotta take that into account. I don't think it had anything to do with Madison dying or Morgan being brought over to replace her. Now look, will I say that they could have handled some things a little bit better? Yeah. They could have. But the showrunners, they were brought in to make the show better, okay? They saw Madison as not being a good lead for Fear the Walking Dead. So they killed her off and replaced her with Morgan. Now, I know there are fans out there who hate Morgan's guts and want him dead and want him back on the original show, or just want to kick him in the ass and get rid of him. They hate his guts. Mainly, I think those are the Alicia fans and the Madison fans. And I can understand it, but Alicia was never meant to be the lead character. Her character is supposed to be the dynamic ally. Now, a dynamic ally is someone like Daryl to Rick. That is Alicia. Now, she's most likely going to be the dynamic ally to Morgan now. Now, this is a very interesting thing that they're going to probably explore this season, is her as the dynamic ally to Morgan. In the synopsises, you can also see that they mention that she's also helping him lead, which makes sense. She would be the dynamic ally. That the dynamic ally is usually the second in command, which would make sense. Now, they're not going to bring Madison back. The showrunners decided to kill her off. She wasn't benefiting the show in a good way, and I'm okay with it. If you want my honest opinion, I'm okay. Madison, for me, I feel like they tried to make a female character or a female lead to work, but didn't really work. I feel like my issue with Madison is that while they tried to make her have this gruff, kind of take charge, take no shit from anybody personality, it failed at the same point because you never see any other emotion from her. I mean, if you look back over the course of the show, she never shows any other emotion than just being stoic, gruff, and like a badass. Okay, that's not a bad thing, but you need to show a character who has different emotions. Like, look at Rick Grimes. Okay, yes, at certain moments, like when he's got his murder coat on, he's gonna go all badass or whatever. But you also have those moments where you can actually see him laugh and have fun. I think I can count on one hand the amount of times I've actually maybe seen any other expression from Madison other than like gruff or take charge. And I don't count sadness. I'm talking about like happy. Like, think about Rick Grimes. Think about all the time you've seen him smile, laugh, have a good time. I can count on multiple hands how many times I've seen that. But with Madison, it never showed. And that's the issue. Alicia, who was the dynamic ally, Travis, the love interest, and I think it would be Nick, her mentor, maybe. I'm not sure which one it would be. Either Nick or Alicia would be the mentor. But the issue here is that there was none of those characters ever really brought out like this fun side to her. You never actually saw her really have fun. Like, you never saw her laugh or have fun. Like, again, I could count on one hand how many times. And that's what those characters are supposed to do. On the show, on the OG show, you have Daryl, the dynamic ally. You got Michonne, the love interest. And it always changed mentor-wise between Herschel, Daryl, Glenn, people like those. They were always the mentor. And you could always have that character show up and show a different emotion. That's their purpose. But Madison never did that. Plus, the story between her and her father was kind of a weak wounding event. Well, I think it was an interesting backstory. I feel like the execution of it was weak, and it came off as just, I don't know, it just didn't provide that oomph that you needed for the character. It just is like, oh, okay, she killed her father. Not like, I understand how that could be like a dark thing, but it was just like, okay. Not like, okay, we know she's got this dark past, they hinted at it, but when it comes to fruition, it's like, yeah, okay. That's how you did it. Okay. That's your wounding event. And I'm okay with how they killed her off. Now, going back to what I said, could they bring her back? Now, we know the showrunners on Fear don't want her back. The way they did this was pretty much they brought in these new showrunners. So imagine it being you bought a new house and Fear the Walking Dead is the new house you bought. You're not going to keep everything that's the same. So say you didn't like the wallpaper. You're going to rip down that wallpaper, put up new wallpaper. I hate making this analogy, but imagine that as Madison. Okay, Madison, okay, we don't like Madison, so we're going to kick her to the curb, bring in someone else to make the lead. That's how it works. And that's how things happen when new showrunners are brought in. Not always, but for certain shows, especially like Fear, when they're kind of on their last legs, that's what happens. They're going to fix what needs to be fixed. I know fans are outraged now, and there's this whole Bring Back Madison campaign. But I went online. There are people that tweeted and are hating Madison, and then all these people suddenly show up out of the woodwork saying Bring Back Madison. And look, if you've been supporting Madison from the beginning, I don't have a problem with you. That's fine. But if you were like, if I haven't seen you like anywhere and then all of a sudden you show up like Bring Back Madison, okay, where were you in the past 3.5 seasons when Madison was on the show? Because I never saw you comment or do anything like that before. But the minute Madison's dead, you suddenly show up. The same thing happened with Carl. People complained about Carl for years. One of them dead, said he was a horrible actor. But yet the minute he dies, it's like, what, why? And it's like, Where were you these past 8 years? People, where was your support? Are you just mad that it's the son of Rick Grimes? Are you mad that it's a woman being killed off and being replaced with a man? Like, where were you? Like, where were you these past years where you could have been supporting this person, yet I never saw you, and now here we are, and you come out of the woodwork and are saying blasphemy over this. Where were you? I always get mad at people like that. Is like, why aren't you supporting them from the beginning? Now, look, like I said, she could come back to The Walking Dead. Because they might find a way to bring her back. Because they have the radio now. That could have been Madison on the radio. If they want to keep Madison alive, maybe have fans have some hope, they could bring her into the OG show. And have her show up there, become a member of the group. Now the issue becomes whether or not she'll ever return to Fear. Since the showrunners don't want her, they probably wouldn't bring her back. It becomes a tricky thing because in one area they could bring her back and have her end up dying when she comes back, because they're not going to keep her on. They're not going to keep her on if they ever do bring her back to Fear. It'd just be to kill her off permanently. So it's a tricky thing. They could bring her on over to The Walking Dead, yet I feel like The Walking Dead is already bloated and has so many cast members to follow already that it's just a little oversized right now to bring in someone from Fear. I know we always get this conversation about, well, will the shows ever merge? I highly doubt it. Unless they really want to keep these characters alive in hopes of doing something with them in the future. But honestly, even on Fear's worst days, it's still the second highest ranking show on AMC next to the OG show. And it's still bringing in AMC a hell of a lot of money. So they're going to keep both these shows going. And they're probably going to bleed them out until there's nothing left of them. But I'm going to turn this over to you guys. What do you guys think? Are you interested in seeing Madison return? I know there's a good amount of you. I know Jarrell and Josh are big Madison fans over at Knockout Nation. I know you probably would love to see her back. Would you want her back there, or would you rather have her go to the main show? And if she does come back, what's your thoughts and opinions? Because I honestly don't care. I'm okay with Madison. She never did anything for me. I honestly like Travis better as the lead. And I think that's one of the issues that Fear had as well, is they never made a distinguished of who is the lead in Fear the Walking Dead. If you go over to The Walking Dead, we follow Rick. We see him wake up from his coma and go. But in Fear, you wake up with Nick. But he's not the lead. So then you turn it over to Madison, then it's Travis. Like, it always pinballed around as to who was the main lead between the Clark family and Travis and his family. And I think that's one of the things that hurt Fear, is that they didn't really distinguish who we were actually following. I get people say, well, we were following the family dynamic. That's all well and good, but we also as well need like someone to root for in general. And I feel like that's something that hurt the show. And I think that they needed to distinguish an actual leader, and that's why they brought in Morgan. Again, Alicia would have never fit. She was always the dynamic ally. You can't force her out of it unless you do like a thing like they did similar to Daryl, or do an ensemble like they did on The Walking Dead with Daryl, Carol, and Michonne. But again, I'm going to turn this over to you. What's your thoughts and opinions, and what would you prefer to see in The Walking Dead universe moving forward? So yeah, guys, those are my quick thoughts and opinions regarding Fury, regarding Madison possibly returning to Fear the Walking Dead or The Walking Dead main show. As always, if you like this video, don't forget to give it a big thumbs up and share. And don't forget to hit the subscribe button down below and hit that bell icon. That way to miss any more future Fear the Walking Dead or The Walking Dead content from me moving forward. This has been Vision here with Blind Entertainment, and I'll see you next time.